I get
So you ready to go, Ray?
Christine,
Yeah, I
start.
guess.
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Warrick County Council, July the 6th, 2023, 6 p.m. If you all rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. And Ron, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hoorah. Hoorah.
Just let you all know God is blessed. I can stand and I can walk and I don't have pain.
Congratulations.
Appreciate everybody's prayers. First of all, I have a proclamation to read. I'll stand for it. I'm very, very proud. I mean, twice in a row, this proclamation honoring the Tecumseh High School's 2023 State of Indiana softball champions. Where it's July the 6th, 2023 is when I'm reading this. Whereas the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, talent, and exceptional team chemistry of the 2023 Tecumseh High School softball. And whereas head coach Gordon Wood and the entire coaching staff, team, member parents, faculty, and student body at Tecumseh High School were integral in guiding the team to victory through their unwavering support. Now, therefore, I, Greg Richmond, president of the Warrick County Council, do hereby recognize and heartily congratulate Tecumseh High School and the 2023 state championship softball team on its outstanding accomplishment. In witness hereof, Greg Richmond, have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the Great Seal of Warrick County, Indiana, the 6th day of July, 2023. I will sign it. Is anybody here from Tecumseh? But I am so proud. Every time they came on the television, that was us, folks. We're really blessed to have Tecumseh and the talent they have there. First up is the approval.
About roll
Oh,
call.
roll call, excuse me.
Ron Bacon.
Here.
Rob Dimmitt.
Here.
Ted Metzger.
Present.
Brad Overton.
Here.
Richard Reed.
Present.
Greg Richmond.
Here.
Chris Wetstein.
Here.
Now the approval of minutes. I read them. It didn't take me all day like it used to. And I didn't find any errors. Anybody?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Ted to approve and second by Rick. Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Next up is the solid waste resolution bond approval. Do I need to read anything before the discussion?
Just the title.
Okay. On the right page here. And what number will this be? 4. Okay, Warrick County Council Resolution Number 2023-4. A resolution of the Warrick County Council approving the issuance of bonds of the Warrick County Solid Waste Management District and the appropriation of the proceeds thereof to finance the construction, modification, acquisition, and maintenance of a facility of the district and pay certain related costs.
Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Terry Philippi. I'm the president of the Warrick County Solid Waste Management District. We are here this evening asking you, the county council, to approve a resolution supporting our automation project. This automation project will reduce expenses by cutting temp employee reliance, eliminating the surcharge on temporary pay scale. It will increase revenue by increasing the capacity of the recyclable stream that we already have, and then by bringing in additional streams of revenue from others. We will also be able to maximize the commodity markets. The intangible benefits will be keeping millions of pounds out of the landfills and in the recycling stream, creating higher paying skilled jobs, and setting the Solid Waste Management District as the continued example in Southwest Indiana. So that's my introduction. I do have a couple of handouts for you to review. Freddie is going to come up. Freddie's the director of the Solid Waste Management District, which I'm sure you all realize. And talk about it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. My name's Freddie Rowland. I'm superintendent of the solid waste district for Warrick County. Some of the things I'd just like to go over with you is some numbers just to get you online with where we're basing a lot of this at. We're taking off of 2022's year where we processed 2,151,982 pounds or 1,075 tons of materials. When I say processed, that means getting it into the building, the materials into the building, and getting it up a line where we can pick it and bale it and get it ready for sale. Where our biggest problem is labor. It's where we can process more. As of today, our picking or recovery numbers is about 50 to 60% of what we should be picking or recovering. So out of the materials that's come in, we are way down. A lot of it because of labor. We do not have time to send it back through because we've got more trucks coming in later that day or the next day. So what we'd like to do with this automation or mechanical and the automation is mainly move the material, get it where we have less people, but it is picking itself, if you will. It's separating itself out, falling down into chutes to where we can get it and bale it, process it, and get it out and sell it. I have a very conservative goal, if you will. My goal is 30% increase in the first 12 to 18 months. But again, that is conservative. And I truly believe we are going to overplay that. We're going to do more than 30%. With the materials that we're looking at, the vendors we've talked to, the systems they are offering up for bid, their recovery rate is 90% plus. So if right now our recovery rate is 50 to 60%, you can already see the difference in what they are saying that we can get. What that will do is that'll allow us to move the big bulks that come in, get it out of the way. Then we can work with other companies within Warrick County. There are private companies that will have materials that we can bring straight in, get it, and go. There are other places I would like to go to within Warrick County, such as our hospitals, places like that has lots of cardboard, has lots of materials that come out of their facilities. Right now, we cannot handle them. With this system, we could bring them in also. The other thing is once we get Warrick County online and we're running and we're doing what we should be doing for Warrick County, then we can go to the neighboring counties and ask them, would they like to work with us, provide some of their materials because they don't have facilities like we do. So we could bring their products in, we could profit share with them. Help them out, they help us out. The more materials we get in, the more trucks we get out. At just the 30% conservative rate, we would get 16 more trucks a year than what we've been averaging. In 2022, we shipped out 62 trucks. So we already had up 16 more with just 30%. I truly believe within the first 12 to 18 months, we could be at 60 to 65% with this system because it runs 5 to 10 tons per hour. Right now, if we get a ton an hour, we think we're doing something great. For this year alone, for 17 people, our line item for labor is $608,356. We received our invoice yesterday for the last week of June, half of the way through the year. We have expended 29.39% of that $356, simply because they can't get people to work for us. We can't keep people working. They don't want to work. Without the labor, we can't do anything. With this automation, we join the labor that we have because we do have a core group of about 6 people. We get the automation in, we use these 6 people. The money left over from the rest of those 9 people, that goes back in to help pay for the automation. We don't have to expend that money and let it just sit out there. That's what we're asking for. I know we can do this. I know it in my heart. I'm not just saying that. I've been doing this too long. But without automation, we're just going to keep going like we are. And every year, our labor line item is going to keep going up. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing at 50 to 60%. That's all I have, unless you have some questions.
So will this allow you to expand into glass and then some of the other different types of plastics? Because I think the plastics now is kind of.
Picking plastics right now, yes, sir. Right now, our primary goal is the ones and the twos. Number ones is your PET, your drink bottles and things like that. Your number twos is your number two colors and natural, which is your colors are your old style milk jugs, your laundry jugs and things like that. Your naturals is your like light gray milk jugs and water jugs. We can pick them all at one time and bale them together and sell them. But what we don't want to do is that, because with number two colors, if we bale them and sell them with the naturals, we're only going to get 18, 19 cents a pound. If we separate them, which we do now, we get 18, 19 cents a pound for the color. We get 65 to 70 cents for the natural per pound, a 40,000 pound truck. That's a big difference in revenue. So yes, then if we can keep going with that, depending on if we're allowed the automation, we can even get down into the 337s and keep them out of the landfill also. There is not such a large market for it, but there is a market. We just don't have the time to pick it right now.
And then what about glass? Is that something, because I know I cringe when I buy a glass bottle and it just makes me sick to fill it
Sir,
up.
I understand exactly what you're saying. However, even if we wanted to, like we did when we first started up the facility, you look at the labor it takes to crush it properly, because depending on where you can sell it at, you either want it, but it goes as like a sand material or in little chips. The closest place that we could find to purchase or to buy it from us was Strategic up near Indianapolis. They was going to offer us $26 a ton. We have to give up our gaylords that the material's in. We have to give up the pallet, and we have to pay for the freight. It would have cost us approximately $1,600 a load to pay them to take it from us. That is the discrepancy. And if you talk to just about any county in southern Indiana, the solid waste districts, who are wanting to take care of the glass, there are other districts who have glass grinders that they're trying to sell because they can't afford to do it. That's the downfall. Sand is actually cheaper than recycled glass. It's a shame, and I don't like saying that, but that's the honest truth.
I was just curious because I knew before you'd mentioned that it probably, we knew glass was a struggle with. But, you know, and that's the expanded part about the plastic. That's a pretty clear cut example that you've given there to split those two revenues out.
Yes, sir, it is.
I think that paints a pretty good picture there.
Yes, sir. Are there any other questions, please? Thank you for your time.
Guys, I'm going to get up here and introduce everybody, and this is at your will. If you'd like. We've got Brian Mundy, one of the engineers working on the project design and the RFP, and he can get up here and answer any technical questions and give you a short little piece. And then we have Oscar and Ben back here to talk about the financial piece. So they'll be up next.
Hi, my name is Brian Mundy. I'm with Beam Longus and Neff, and we assisted the Solid Waste District with the request for qualifications and request for proposals process, as well as putting together the technical information about the actual system itself. We have received proposals as of last week. However, we have not reviewed those yet, so I can't give you an answer on anything that has to do with specific bids. But I was going to go through a lot of what Freddie already talked about, so I don't want to go over all that again. But as you know, you have a single stream recycling facility, and that means that everything is combined when it comes in. Not only do you get the items that you want, you get the items that you don't want that people think might be recyclable, like glass, rotors off of their cars, anything you can imagine. So right now, the way the process works is it's completely 100% manual. They bring the material in, dump it on the floor, and people sort through it by hand. That's the way it's processed. They bring in their trucks on a Thursday, I believe, and it takes them until the next Wednesday to process that material. It's the equivalent of 1 ton per hour whenever you talk about one of these automated systems. When we went out for proposals, we wanted to recover everything that you're recovering now, but we also wanted to recover it and be able to sort it the way Freddie discussed, with the colored plastics and the opaque plastics being separated, so you can get the maximum dollar for it. And the way we do that is through robotics and optical sorters. So actually, in order to process what you have now, it's almost that low of a rate is almost unheard of in the business. So we went out for a 5 ton per hour system. So what we received proposals for is a system that will work between 1 and 5 tons per hour, and then be scalable in the future with the addition of some extra equipment and robots. Right now, you have a 40,000 square foot facility that was built in 2015. As Freddie said, you usually can not get 12 employees to show up. So one of the main items of this project was to lower that amount of people that it takes to operate. So we proposed a system that is at least 90% recovery rate, as Freddie said, with also a 93% purity. So that means that you're recovering 90% of the recyclables that come through the system, but you're also, when you send them to the baler, it's 93% pure. The purer your bales are, the more money you'll get for them. The way this will work, you'll have a feed conveyor come in, a pre-sort area where you will have to have a couple employees that will manually sort through and take out the things that could tear up the equipment, like the big chunks of metal, all the plastic bags that they can get out because those get caught in the wheels. Any other thing they see that shouldn't be there, they take out in that pre-sort area. Then we have a cardboard separator that automatically separates all the big pieces of cardboard. There'll be a fine screen that will separate the smaller pieces of paper and any glass that's in the mix. It'll crush that glass and send it to the bottom. Then we have a magnetic separator belt that kicks out all of the ferrous material, the tin, so that can be baled. And then we have robotic sorters that actually pick the plastics. So the recyclable stream will go through a camera system. Artificial intelligence will identify where the different plastics are in the belt, and the robots will pick it. These robots can pick up to 70 items a minute each. So, and then at the end, we have a eddy roller that uses electrical current to kick out the aluminum and put it into a bin for baling. And then in addition, we are reusing your existing eddy roller and your existing balers to limit the impact of the cost. So that's the way the system works. The big savings on personnel is to operate this system out of the gate. You're probably looking at 5 employees. And if you ramp up to the full 5 tons per hour, which is 5 times what you're bringing in now, maybe 8 employees to run it. The way it stands with this system, if it gets installed, you'll essentially be able to run your current load in 1 day through it. And the system, we also asked for it to be scalable. All the companies that we pre-qualified in the RFQ process all design their systems with scalability in mind. So if you go up and get over the 5 tons per hour in 10 years or whatever it may be, the system will be scalable to handle that extra load. So that is what I have about the operation of the system. Are there any questions?
And maybe, I don't know for sure if this is yours, but you'll tell me quickly. As far as maintenance of the equipment,
Yes.
and what is that and as far as the contract would go,
Yes, there will be a likely an ongoing maintenance contract, but the daily maintenance will be performed by the employees at the facility. They'll be trained by the manufacturer, and most of the maintenance is cleaning, greasing, and inspecting the cups on the robots. The robots work by air pressure, suction, or either blowing or sucking, picking things up. So those all have to be checked and cleaned. But the periodic maintenance will all be done by the employees out there.
And I wonder what would like an annual contract for repairs, what does that typically, do you have any idea what that typically?
We have not got into that. That can be tailored to your needs. You can, I know there are some ongoing programming issues. This is all computer controlled, so you definitely want your vendor available if you have issues. I don't think you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, though.
Excuse me, Brian?
Yes.
If I could
Sure.
add on.
Yes.
Sir, what we have already assigned to us at solid waste, a certified mechanic. And my intent is to bring him down if we can get this, bring him down during installation, let him work with their people, learn the equipment inside and out, and go from there and have him as my assigned specific maintenance person. This equipment is used and guaranteed for 20 to 30 years plus. That is from the vendors, it is not from me. That the equipment itself will last 20, 30 years plus, as long as we maintain it.
Okay.
Sorry, Brian.
No, you're good. Any other questions?
I guess my other question would be this, everybody's thinking it's going to be really successful, and I hope it is. And I'm thinking that, is there any expected extra big costs if it is really successful and it takes off, really big? I mean, is there going to be any big costs that's going to incur 3 years from now to help get rid of the stuff?
There should not be, if you do not go over the 5 tons per hour, so if you don't increase your throughput by 5 times what it is today, your operational costs or your capital costs will not go up. If you decide that you want to expand, and increase the size past that 5 tons per hour, then yes, you're going to have capital costs. And it's going to come in the form of likely more conveyors, more robots, and possibly a bigger footprint to the building. I'm not sure how that'll all shake out.
Yeah, I didn't know about trucking and things like that and getting.
Yeah, that's a question more for
Okay.
Freddie.
What was the question, sir?
If